Have you ever grown seeds and when they grow into seedlings, they become too stretched and too leggy and they're not doing well and sometimes they just fizzle out? Well, we're going to fix that with these 5 tips. When germinating seeds, we need warmth and we need humidity, which I covered in the previous video on achieving high germination rate of your seeds. And when the seeds germinate and they turn into these seedlings, the very first thing we need to do is take them off the heat mat. Now we can set these seedlings on a shelf and we can use the heat mats to germinate the next batch of our seeds. And the very first thing we need to pay attention on is watering. And now we must water these seedlings properly. If we don't provide enough water and these seedlings dry out, they're just going to fizzle out. However, if we provide too much water and these seedlings get waterlogged, they will have pest diseases such as fungus gnats, and they can also have fungal diseases as well. The consistency of your growing medium should be equal to a wrung out sponge, which is not too dry and not too wet. And how to achieve that? Well, water your growing medium and wait till the growing medium is drying out just a little before you start watering again. Now you can also apply the bottom watering technique. What I do is I leave one of the cells in my tray empty, in which I can put water in. This way the water goes directly to the roots and it also prevents fungus gnats from breeding as well. Now you don't have to worry about drying out your seedlings with the bottom watering technique because your growing medium is going to suck up the water into the growing medium which will be available to your seedlings. Next up, light, which is the biggest factor to prevent your seedlings from becoming leggy.
In order to understand why seedlings are leggy, we have to understand how plants work.
Now, plants love sunlight. That's how they draw their energy from photosynthesis. So when seedlings grow, they're looking for the light. And if there's not enough light, they're going to stretch to find that light. And that's what makes the seedlings leggy. Now, if you want to have seedlings that are healthy and strong, you have to provide them with enough sunlight. Now, we think if we put the seedlings by the window 2 to 3 hours a day, that's enough sunlight. That is not. In nature, plants are looking for at least 8 hours of sunlight. So you have to make sure you give them enough sunlight so they grow big and strong, and this is how I do it. Now I love to grow my seedlings right next to a window so I don't have to buy grow lights and I don't have to spend money on electricity to run grow lights. So I have a shelf that's movable and I fill all the shelves with seed starting trays. Now when it's really cold outside or when there's not sun out, I just leave them right by the window indoors. On the days it's nice and sunny outside, I just move my entire shelf out in the sun and all of my seedlings enjoy natural sunlight. This way I don't have to spend money on artificial lighting. At night, I just move the entire tray back into the garage. Once you give them natural sunlight, they will never be leggy. Now this system works really well and you can put 4 trays on each shelf and you can have 5 shelves. You can grow 20 trays. Now that's a lot of seedlings for a home gardener to grow. If you want to grow more, you can just add another shelf. Now if you're growing your seeds by the window, another thing I do is rotate my trays. This way the seedlings are not leaning one way. They always self-correct the other way to catch the light. Now this is because plants always follow the light. So if light is coming from one side, the seedlings will lean that way. So if you rotate your trays, the seedlings will grow straight and strong. Now if you're bringing your seedlings outside, always keep a close eye on your tray and check your trays at least once or twice a day to make sure the potting soil in your tray is not drying out. Always keep a constant moisture in your trays. Now if you're in a part of the world where you don't get too much natural sunlight from January to March to grow your seedlings, you can use grow lights. Now if you absolutely have to use grow lights and if you have no other option, this is what you can do. This is ordinary workshop light and this produces 4,000 lumens and this is a daylight, which is what plants like. You just have to make sure you have at least 2,000 lumens and guess what? This produces a lot of light. You can grow up to 8 trays under this light and this is very inexpensive and this is LED light so it also consumes very less electricity.
Now this video is sponsored by Verdant Vigor seeds. Their seeds have a really high germination rate and they have many different types of seed collections. For example, they have a seed collection of salad vegetable seeds, leafy greens. They have seeds for sprouting in both spicy and non-spicy version. They have a collection on 10 different type of heirloom tomato seed varieties. They also have 20 different varieties of vegetable and herb seed collection. If you're interested in purchasing these seeds, I'll leave a link to these seeds in the description of this video.
Now another thing you can do to make your seedlings stronger is to subject your seedlings to wind or forces of nature. Wind or forces of nature will naturally harden your seedlings and make them stronger. Now if it's not too windy in your area or you cannot bring your seeds outside, you can use a fan or even a USB fan to create enough airflow to make your seedlings stronger. Now, the biggest reason the seedlings fade away or don't do well or get stunted, even if you provide them with enough light, is because of nutrients. After the seedlings grow to about 2 to 3 inches, you have to provide them with enough nutrients for the seedlings to keep growing and become stronger. And the way I do it is I use a very low fertilizer. It's a 442, very slow releasing fertilizer. I soak it in water and then I water my plants this way. You can also use compost tea to do so. I have a separate video on how you can turn your kitchen waste into compost tea.
Now you can use the diluted fertilizer solution or this compost tea to water your plants at least once a week. But the NPK ratio of this compost tea is very low, like 1:1:1. So you don't have to worry about burning your seedlings by watering your plants with this compost tea. Next, it's time to thin the seedlings. Now sometimes we have 2 or 3 seeds in a cell and we'll end up with 2 or 3 seedlings growing out of a cell. In order to grow strong seedlings, you can only have 1 seedling in each cell. So select a stronger seedling like this one. Firmly hold the growing medium not to disturb the roots and gently pull out the weaker or smaller seedlings. Now you don't have to get rid of these seedlings. You can transplant them into another tray and these will grow as well. Now let's check upon our seedlings and see how strong or how healthy they are. Well, look at these. The stems are really strong. They're growing really beautiful leaves, and check out the roots. The entire growing medium comes out very nicely out of the cells because the roots are binding the growing medium. Now this way you can grow really strong seedlings and you will have no trouble transplanting them outside in your garden when the danger of frost is over. If you'd like to have all of this information in a printable pamphlet, check out the pamphlet I have on complete guide on growing seeds and seedlings. The link will be in the description of this video. Now check out this video on how to prevent fungus gnats from occurring in your potting soil and this video on how to make your own compost tea, and I'll see you in another video.